Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to ISA Insider News. My name is Max Tim.
And I'm Shayna Weber. Oh, I said my own name. It's a new year.
I am no longer going to say, and here's Shayna Weber, as if I am the primary and you are the secondary. It's not the way to do it. This is 2023, ladies and gentlemen.
2023, people.
Are you excited for the new year?
You know, in years past, I've been excited for the new year. This year, I think I'm very tentative about being excited about the new year, because I think the last couple of years I've been like, yes, this is going to be the year. And they've been sucky the last couple of years, just overall. So I think this time I'm just sort of like, we're just riding through it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing resolutions. I'm not making big things and making a big deal out of it. We're just continuing on.
Yeah, I kind of get that. I mean, there are some things in terms of business and work that I'm excited about in terms of getting them launched. We're definitely going to do them. You know, the likelihood of them not happening is almost zero, you know, so I'm just excited to see how that's going to go. Got another retreat I'm putting on this year with the Story Farm. You know, I'm just looking forward to getting those things moving. But at the same time, I hear you. I'm not making a ton of resolutions. However, I am going to probably do a dry-ish January.
Me too. Dry-ish.
You know, I'm not going full
drier. How about drier?
Drier is a much
drier
better,
January.
Yes. A much drier
Me too.
January compared to December. I had a great 2-week break. Usually every year I take 2 weeks off. You know, one thing I was thinking this year, I think I'm going to try to do multiple days off multiple times a year. Like, schedule ahead. In a month from now, take 4 days off, and 2 months from now, otherwise I'm working all year long, and then I have 2 weeks of time off, and this break just went too quickly.
I agree. I think it's really important that we start setting little markers for like continuing to take time for ourselves and self-care, as they say, and not be just glued to our computers. I'm trying to I put all my social media on my phone into one file and kind of like hit it on the third page. So it's not something that I'm trying to not go when I'm bored or having a moment to just go for my phone and look at social media, because I think it's such a time suck for me. So that's, I guess, if there was like a resolution, I'm trying to really cut back on that, of not just instinctually going for my phone of like, I have 2 seconds. Let me look at Instagram.
Totally agree. And I think for all of you screenwriters out there, you should try to plan some time, some weekends. Tell your significant other or your family that you're going to go and write for 3 days straight or something, or just start planning that now. Even if you don't think it's possible, you just start putting it in your head, and you never know, something might come along where you're like, oh, I can take a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend or whatever.
I mean, even if you can take an afternoon, if you're like me, who is a mom who can't really go off for 4 days, if you can just plan an afternoon where you're not working, you're just figuring out something to do for yourself, go to the beach, go to the ocean, go up in a mountain, go for a hike, something to do something for yourself.
Let's get into our top headline. What is our top headline this week?
We love a list, and in Variety put out the most anticipated movies coming in 2023. And I thought this was a great headline just because obviously we're getting into 2023, but there's some films on here that I didn't even know were made that were coming out, and they're interesting. So it's kind of a fun thing, and it gives you some dates, and it's, you know, if you studied it, you can kind of see what the commercial movies are, the movies that are going to the theaters. But there's some fun ones. There's a few with like the older generation of actors in it. There's this 80 for Brady, which is about some super fans going to see Tom Brady play. There's a book club 2 or 3 that's coming out with Diane Keaton and that group of ladies. There's some strange ones in here that I'm very interested in. Like, on February 6th, there's a movie coming out called Cocaine Bear, which is based on this true story about a bear that got into this illegal trade, like stash of cocaine that was, you know, being transported or something, and went crazy. And so there's a whole movie about this bear. There's also Barbie's coming out in July, which will be very interesting to see who that audience is. Because I'm confused about who that movie's for. Is it a nostalgia movie? Is it for me, like older? Is
I'm
it for men? Like,
assuming,
who's it for?
yeah, I'm assuming it's for an older generation because it seems like they're poking fun at a lot of things. I'm curious about that too. There's some good spooky movies coming out. Next fall is going to be fun. There's a new Exorcist coming out. A little concern from my end for this Disney movie called Wish. It's about the world of wishes and stuff. I have a project similar. I saw another project on there called Chevalier, which I know one of my writers over the past year or so was developing a script specifically about that character, and so that's coming out. So it's good to know what's coming out, everybody. Not only for your own, sake of entertainment, but you can kind of see where some trending might go if some of these movies are more, popular and they do well.
Yeah, and these are the studio movies. These are the big ones, with the big stars, or the Marvel movies and the superhero movies and the franchises like John Wick 4 is coming out. So, but it's still good to know what's percolating.
Yeah. No, I think there's another reason to be excited for this year. And really, if you're a distributor, you're probably a little nervous, really hoping that these movies do well. But we'll see. Let us know what you all are anticipating, what you're excited to be watching this year.
Yeah, let us know. I think I'm most interested in Cocaine Bear, and then there's a horror comedy coming out with Nicolas Cage called Renfield.
Yeah.
Which is about like Dracula's assistant, I guess, who decides to quit and leave because he fell in love or something. So that will be interesting because I think Nicolas Cage makes some really awesome choices lately. So
yeah. All right, well, let's move on to some news you can use.
So it's a little slow out there, but we chose this one just because obviously when we go in, it's a big one. When we go into 2023, we're thinking about progress. So this is an ISA Insider article. Hollywood's progress on hiring of female directors and people of color has stalled out, USC Annenberg report says. So that's a little disheartening. And I think it's something just to remember that we need to keep pushing for that diversity for female directors, for people of color, for underrepresented groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that what the article says, which is a relatively quick article to read, one of the barriers is repeat opportunities for female directors, people of color directors. It states more than 3/4 of the women directors in the sample that they took here have helmed only one popular movie in the last 16 years that they studied. Well, this is true for just over half of men. So it is that repeat opportunity. It seemed like there was a little bit of a surge. Yes, let's get more of these underrepresented people opportunities, but it's the continuation of those opportunities that is important. It's kind of an understatement.
Yeah, it's not just going to change. We have to keep pushing and keep continuing to provide more opportunity, and also for females and people of color and anyone who's underrepresented to keep pushing for those opportunities yourself. And including other people when you get an opportunity, including.
Totally. And one thing I'm always really happy to see is I would say, and I haven't done the numbers on this, but I would say well over 50% of the writers I work with through the Story Farm and my consulting are women. And we just recently launched the 30-day screenwriting challenge. We'll tell you a little bit more about that. And in terms of the list of people I'm seeing signing up, I would say about half of them are women. So you're out there. So now the industry needs to allow those opportunities to be given more and more.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, and if there's any news that we have not covered over the, from over the past couple of weeks or anything, which I'm sure there is a lot, but
I'm sure.
Share some headlines in the comments down there. But let's go to this week in ISA Insider. We've got this great article from Michael Hauge.
I think it's a little bit of a clickbait article because you may go, what? It's called Formulaic is Good with an exclamation point. And it's basically an interview with Michael Hauge about following structure, following a formula. And I know that, we all want to break away from the formula, but to a certain degree, you do need to stick to a formula so then you can break out of it. And if you haven't watched the amazing genre conversation that we had
with John
before Christmas with John Truby, he talks about this also, of knowing your plot points, knowing these core elements of your genre, and then that way you can twist them around and make it interesting. So
Totally.
I thought this was an interesting article.
It's a great article because it's an interview. And so the interviewer is asking Michael Hauge. And if you don't know who Michael Hauge is, it's Hauge. Michael's been doing this for a long time. He's one of the best. Really, really smart man. And he's worth listening to anytime you get a chance to watch a video or read an article. But I say it all the time too, but you have to know the formula in order to break it. And of course, everybody hears that all the time. But really what that is saying is you have to be a student of the craft. You have to understand the genre so well that you're writing in, so that you then can write to the expectations of the audience, but also so you can twist and create a new, unique take on whatever that genre is, on some form of typical structure. And sometimes it's okay for movies to be expected as long as it's entertaining and emotional, because there's something that we don't talk enough about. And I think I did in my last webinar of the year in December about emotional structure, where page count doesn't necessarily matter what happens at what page. It's more about the rhythm of the emotional up and downs and the experiences of the character dealing with situations that are going to be testing them personally. That's more important. But then if they can fit within some kind of a mold, great. And really, it's not just great, but it's also necessary. The audience is going to be expecting this. So you have to play to that a little bit.
So check it out. It's a good interview.
Yeah, it is a good interview. That's this week on ISA Insider. There's a lot more on the ISA Insider, everybody. We're going to be adding more and more, of course, every week. So definitely stay tuned to the Insider there. Just give yourself 5-10 minutes every morning or something and just dive in, because there's a ton of information. What else is going on? We've got some events. Upcoming
events for ISA. We are going to Sundance in a couple of weeks, and we are doing a live table read there on Monday, January 23rd. So if you are going to be at Sundance, let us know, and we'll have you come out to our amazing live table read. We have an awesome director and an amazing script that's going to be a really, really good time. So let me know if you're going to be at Sundance. I'll be there.
So that's what I was going to clarify. Shayna will be there. I will not be attending. It's been a long time since I've been to Sundance, but now that I'm on a little bit further away part of the country, it's a little harder for me to get out there to Utah. But I will be reveling in all of the pictures, and I won't be jealous of how cold it will be. It's always so cold.
I know. I've been stocking up on warm weather clothes. I mean, warm clothes for cold weather.
It's the last week of January. I'm sure there will be some video and stuff coming out for those of you who can't attend. But a week prior, we are starting the 30-day screenwriting challenge with the ISA. If you haven't heard of this yet, go to thecraftcourse.com. I created, through my coursework, a 30-day version of it, where we're cramming all of the lessons in within 30 days. And within about, I think I have it down to like 15 to 16 days, all of the actual assignments are there. The last 15 days, you're just writing. But on top of it, what we're doing a little bit differently this year is I'm going to be on Zoom every single morning for 30 straight days live, for all of you who are attending and who purchased the 30-day screenwriting challenge, to come in. I'm going to explain the assignments. I'm going to answer some questions. I'll be on for maybe 45 minutes or so. They'll be recorded. They'll be made available probably same afternoon, same evening, for those of you who are, in different time zone and stuff. So it's going to be pretty cool. You don't have to finish a script in those 30 days, but it's going to be a huge amount of education during that time at the very least. So definitely consider. It's only $49, and you get to keep the challenge for the whole year.
I think that's a great thing to note, though. You don't have to finish. It's not a boot camp. It's not this push through to finish a screenplay in 30 days. If you do, fabulous.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it's to get into that daily rhythm and to keep yourself writing, and accountability is huge. For less than $50, we do the less than $50. Accountability, that's, priceless.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and Max every morning. Have your coffee with Max.
Every morning. I know. As I was coming out of the break, I'm like, wow, my January is going to be really busy.
Yeah.
But it's all for the good of the writers. So definitely check it out. Thecraftcourse.com. 30-day screenwriting challenge. You can purchase it. You can look at the first day. A couple little chapters on the first day. But we start on January 16th. So you've got a little time.
Awesome.
And then we've got some emerging screenwriters interview series videos on our pro tips page and on YouTube. obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you are already aware of our YouTube channel. But
Right.
if you're not watching it on YouTube, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's totally free. It takes you about 9 seconds. And there's a ton of free content on there.
Yeah, we're rolling out a bunch of emerging screenwriter interviews that we've done, and we're going to be adding more as we go. But basically, if you want to learn origin stories or ways that writers are writing, or their routines, or what they describe as their voice, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like if you want to hear from emerging screenwriters who are winning contests, making it, building up their resume, check out those interviews. They're really good, and I'm the interviewer, so go check them out.
Even more of a reason to go. All right, well, that's what's happening. That's the haps for the ISA this week and really this month. But let's get into what we're watching. So you watched quite a bit over the break.
I actually did. It was nice. So I watched 4 big ones: The Banshees of Inisherin, Don't Worry Darling, Glass Onion, and Pinocchio. All very different.
Pinocchio with Tom Hanks, the live action Tom Hanks.
The live action Pinocchio. And
okay.
You know what? There have been some naysayers out there, and it got some panning, but I thought it was fantastic.
Okay.
I thought it was a really great live action version. I thought it was sweet. I don't particularly like the original Pinocchio story. I don't know. I never liked Pleasure Island. I never liked this idea of it. I never liked the punishment of the turning into a donkey and all that, whatever. But for some reason, this one, it works for me. And maybe it's because I have a son now and I can like look at it differently, and I'm not a little kid. But it's gorgeous and so well done and lovely. And I really liked it.
Okay. Yeah, I barely even remember the story of Pinocchio, but I like Tom Hanks. He's just kind of had a string of movies that is just like, it's strange.
Yeah.
Strange choice.
He was lovely in it. He didn't do anything crazy. He was just a great Geppetto. I also liked Don't Worry Darling, and I know it got panned a lot too, but I think it was well done. I think it was predictable. Like I could tell, I knew what was happening, but it was really well done, and the acting was excellent. And I really like that. So the 2 that I'm kind of like about, Banshees of Inisherin, I liked the performances. I thought it was well done, but story-wise, and I think it's because I'm female, I was like, why? And so if you've seen it, you'll know why I'm saying why. I don't really like, I get it. I get it's an allegory about war and like blah, blah. I got it. But I really, at the end of it, went like, why?
Interesting.
So that was my take on that. So when you see that, let me know.
Yeah.
And then Glass Onion, it's fun.
Your review is a lot of the same of what I heard people say on Twitter about Glass Onion.
Yeah, it's fun. But at the end of the day, you have all these really great actors playing these characters who have no goals. No goals at all. We have no idea what they want. They're just there for the ride. And so you don't care about anyone. You literally aren't rooting for anybody because there's nobody to root for. Really, there's not. So it's fun, but you're kind of left like, okay, alrighty, moving on. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes they.
But it's fun.
It's almost like
it's not a waste of time. It's fun. Yeah.
It's like they make the movie and they're like, oh shit, like we forgot to put that in there.
Right. Like, huh.
Well,
but it was fun.
I'm glad. I'm jealous isn't the right word, and I'm not also just happy that you watch so much, but I feel motivated to watch more because you watched so many. I purposely didn't watch much of anything. I was out almost every night. It's one of the reasons why I have circles under my eyes. My break was awesome. I didn't really watch that much. Played a lot of board games, went up to Madison and visited some friends, but I am really excited about the BBC version of the new season of Ghosts coming out this week. I love the show Ghosts. The CBS, the one at CBS, the American version is really good and I love it, but the BBC version is even that much better. So I'm excited about that. Now that we're kind of getting back into non-holiday time, it'll be nice to be able to just relax and okay, what's on TV and you know, what's in the theaters. And
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from like trash TV to free my mind and sort of like go, okay, tonight I'm gonna watch, like next up I want to watch Tar. I want to watch some other, you know, movies that are up
yeah,
for awards to sort of and also the commercial ones, the ones that aren't necessarily up for awards. But
that's a good
yeah, I'm
idea.
kind of excited to get back into movies again
Yeah.
and get a kind of away from TV.
All right, so let's get into our final segment, the good news of the week. And I love this story.
So this actually happened right around Christmas, but it is a good news story. And the reason that we selected this is because these are the kind of stories that movies are made from.
Mm-hmm.
These are the kind of like lovely stories. So this is on Good News Network, but it's been all over the news. Police praise local hero who broke into school to save 24 people during a New York blizzard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, praise this guy for doing what he had to do. And also that other story about the woman who brought in the man who was freezing outside and took care of him
Right.
and got him to the hospital for his burns and stuff. So just
I
good people doing good things. I like it.
It's such a nice reminder after the past 2+ years that our country has had, you know, all of us, as a reminder that there are good people in the world, and we inherently are good people, because just by looking and reading through this story is that this kid who's 27 years old, his name's Jay, was just a really nice person. Like, he left a note saying, sorry about breaking the window, I had to bring in people. He borrowed the snowblower from the school to go dig people out. This is just outside of Buffalo during the crazy blizzard. And he just kept bringing people in, 24 total people plus 2 dogs. They stayed overnight, what really made me laugh in a positive way was that there was all of this food in the freezers that these people could have eaten, but they only ate what they needed to. And so they didn't eat any of the major food, and they cleaned up after themselves. So when everybody came into the school, the only thing that was kind of off was the broken window. It's incredible.
Right. It says that he found granola bars, water, and blankets in the nurse's office, gathered apples, juice, and cereal. The kids played in the gym. The adults watched football games on television. I mean, how wholesome is that when you take a bad situation and turn it good?
Yeah, I would have been really sad had I been in this situation to miss Christmas with my family. That sucks, you know, but at the same time, I'm not dead. So it's a nice trade-off. So it's just a great little story. It's a good news of the week. Great way to end the year. Great way to start a new one. Yeah.
So be kind.
Yeah, let us know, everybody, what kind of hopes, intentions, I'm trying to stay away from the word resolutions, that you have for 2023. What do you hope to see? What do you hope to gain? What do you hope to give, accomplished, et cetera, put down in the comments on our YouTube channel, and let us know. And you never know, we might be able to help you find that the way there. You know, it's what the ISA does.
Yeah, let us know. You got to put it out there to get it, right?
That's right. All right, Jana. Well, anything else?
You go take a nap, and I'm gonna go take care of my dog.
Yes. How's the dog?
He's a puppy, so some puppiness, but he's so great. What a great like addition to the family.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. We will see you next week. But until then, keep working hard, and we'll hear from you soon.
Bye, everybody.